Welcome everybody. You're listening to the Entrepreneurial Web. I'm your host, Jeremiah Fox, and today it's a huge honor for me back in the beautiful Gregory Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Brooklyn Bridge Park. We were here last month talking with Gregor himself. This week, I have the pleasure of talking with his business partner, Rodrigo Crespo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Before we kick it off, the message this week has to do with Rodrigo's journey in business and jiu-jitsu, I guess you could say, and it is that things don't always play out the way you thought they would, but often just like you expected, right?
Yeah.
kind of sums up a conversation we started last time I was here. So Rodrigo is he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He's a co-owner here at Gregory Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but you first came to the States to promote your media company.
Exactly.
So a little bit of a meandering journey, which most of us go through, especially once you get into the jiu-jitsu spiral. That's just kind of how it goes, right?
Exactly. So first time I moved to New York was in 2013, just to run my production company. I was invited from a local production company to be their partners, and I decided to move. I was training at this time at Ryan Gracie in Sao Paulo, and I came here to train with Hansel, Gregor, Igor, his brother, Hollis. We are friends since we are like young teenagers, and I was training with Hansel since that time. And then I moved back to Sao Paulo during the pandemic, and I was there running my company. And Gregor called me and said, "Brother, I have an offer for you.
Time to go.
Come back and open a new academy. So I would like to invite you to be my partner." And I didn't think about it. I just said, yes, let's do it. And
it's amazing.
And I'm here.
So tell us more about your media company. Because it's something, I mean, I love both media and jiu-jitsu. So when you were telling me this, I was like just so fascinated.
Okay.
And then this came about during my interview with Gregor, and I was complimenting the social media, and he was like, "Oh, that's not me." He's like, "I don't do that." And he was like, "Rodrigo does it." I was like, "Really?" And so that's how this kind of all started. So yeah, what's the story of the social media company?
Sure. Like, what's funny, like I started this, like I was like studying journalism. And then I met a guy who used to live in my building. He used to be an art buyer in one big advertising agency in Brazil, but still exists here. It's called Draft FCB, something like this.
Okay.
So I was talking to him and I said, "Oh, I would like to be like, do an internship, something like this." He said, "Okay, more than welcome." And I was like working. I started in 2002 as an intern in a big advertising agency, and I was working as a art buyer. Since then, I was like 2-3 years working there. Then I moved to Sao Paulo. I decided to open my own company.
And what year was that?
Was like it's a production company. Basically, actually, I left the advertising agency, and a friend of mine, she's a actress in Brazil. She invited me to go to her office. It was like a talent management company. So I was like working with the talents, Brazilian celebrities, these kind of things. And I was traveling a lot to Sao Paulo, which if you compare like Rio, I was in Rio at this time. I was born and raised in Rio.
Gotcha.
If you compare, it's more like a Rio. I was living in Miami. Like there's not too much business in this industry specifically. So anytime when I had a photo shoot or a film or advertising video clip, I need to fly to Sao Paulo. And I started to build my connections at this time. And then I figured out that there's not too much like producers here. It's more like a big film company than like a producer like we have a lot in New York, like an example. And then I quit my job and opened as a risk, moved to Sao Paulo like 3 days after. And I started like knocking on everybody's door that I know and ask if they could give me an opportunity. And then I was doing great. And my path was, I do mostly fashion and luxury brands, beauty, like Pantene, L'Oreal, this kind of brands. Then like proper like advertising, like in TV. It's much more print than video.
That's what I was going to ask. So
yeah, much more print.
Especially at that time, you were, I mean, there was no social media.
There was
like
no social
digital
media at all, like 2000, 2005.
Yeah.
So no social. It was print, like catalogs, billboards, all these things. And then I met one creative director, and he introduced me to Condé Nast, Vogue Brazil, and then they hired my production company, which actually was myself,
Right.
as a producer. And I was
You're like, let me check with the company.
Let me check with the company if I'm able to. So, and I was doing like all the Vogue editorial covers, etc. And I built my connection in fashion. That's why it was not my choice. Like was like my life give me through this way. And I was like doing like mostly of the fashion brands in Brazil, producing for them like everything. And then like I start coming to New York because one of the brands that I work a lot, they hired Gisele Bündchen, Tom Brady's wife. And she was asking them to shoot here in New York, instead fly to Brazil for a one-day shoot. So we're coming here a lot, and I had to hire like a local producer here to help me. I had no connections, anything. And I met like this guy, Dario. He's a producer. He's Italian, but he's a producer and lives here in US like since, I don't know, 20 years. And this year I was like came to New York like 12 times in 1 year. And then he said, brother, why don't you stay here, live, and you just fly to Brazil for your jobs, but stay here, you can be partners. And I always had a dream to live in New York.
Yeah.
I spent I spent 1 year in Italy. That was my only experience living outside my country.
Yeah.
So, but I was a teenager, like 20 years old. So don't know what to do, just party, like trying to.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So then I accept immediately. I asked my wife, are you like, what do you think about it? And then she said, yeah, let's go. And I came. So I was here since then. During the pandemic was a hard time. So I moved back to Brazil.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like if I really want to keep doing production or jiu-jitsu, which is something that I started even way before. My first time training jiu-jitsu was in 1991.
Yeah.
So
the whole time you were building this company, you were training. You were involved in the jiu-jitsu community in some way.
Exactly. I had a break, like 5 years break, when I was like working like two jobs, internship, university, and I was training boxing. I was more focused in boxing, but like I always train. Like some friend called me, oh, let's train, and I put my gi and train. But since 1991 till today, I never quit. I never stopped. So.
And you said it was around 2012 when this gentleman was asking you to come to New York.
2012 we were coming every year, every month.
Yeah.
In 2013, he offered me to become his partner and live here instead, Sao Paulo. And then I accept. By the end of the year, I was here with my family, my wife actually, and running my business. So.
And were you still kind of going back and forth to Brazil? Did you still have accounts there?
I still have accounts there. I have my business partner in Brazil as well.
Still.
She's there running the company. Pretty good, by the way. And I'm more this side. And I told her, listen, I'm not going to be able to be in every photo shoot we have. So when I have like a big one that really needs me, it's okay. But beside that, it's time to focus in the academy, and I cannot be like focusing something that I'm doing like for 20, almost like 15 years. So she can deal and manage, and that's it. So I still have my company there.
And what's the name of it?
The Box.
What?
It's called The Box.
The Box.
Yeah, but it's thebox.ag, like agency. Because I'm not involved in this. I'm just involved in the production company, but my partner in Brazil, she represents some talents like photographers, stylists, art directors. And that's why it's more like an agency than just a production company. But I'm only like focus and partner of her in the production side.
Do you have like staff now, or is it still pretty small and intimate?
I do have a staff. I have like my crew, like production assistants, set designers, and also one person that I hired to be by my partner's side, representing myself. Like I'm not here, but everything you need, talk to her. She's a German woman. She used to do production in Rio de Janeiro, just for like German clients or European clients mostly. And so during the pandemic, same thing for her. Like nobody could come fly to Brazil. She was like no job, and we always do like some co-production together. When I have like some big crew coming, like some people from outside, like Europe or US coming to Brazil for a photo shoot, I always have her by my side. And then I told her, like, listen, I'm going to New York. I'm going to open my academy. I don't have enough time to be like 100% focused on the production. Do you want to come and be like our co-partners? Like, she's not my partner, but we work together. And she's there. So basically, I have two persons in Brazil, and I just overview most of the things. But they are managing the company. I don't even know what they are doing today.
Right. That's the dream, right? That's the entrepreneurial dream, is to like build the company, kind of pass the reins on.
Yeah.
You want the integrity of the company to continue.
I had such a good time doing production, like travel. I had opportunity to travel a lot. Like I went to many different countries, continents, even inside Brazil, which is a big country. Like I went to so many different places, but then like I think we get tired to travel. Like in 2013, I didn't spend 10 consecutive days in my home.
Right.
Like was like 1 week, back again, take a flight. So when people think, oh, you work in fashion, you do production, it's so nice. You travel to whatever, like Paris, and I said, yeah, but I wake up 4:30 a.m.
I know.
I'm the first one to be on set and the last one to leave. So when I finish, I just want to go back to my
20-hour
hotel,
days.
have a quick like dinner and sleep, brother. Like, but still, it's a good business. It's a good industry. I like.
Yeah. No, I have a similar experience from the music industry, because that's what I did at first. I went to school for music, and you travel, and it's like long hours, and it's not, it's not like, unless you're the high performers, you get to go to the nice dinners and all that. The rest of us, we eat like gas station food, and you sleep in the van. It's after a while you're like, and it gets in the way of training.
Exactly.
Can't do that. All right, we're gonna take our first break. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, everybody, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Entrepreneurial Web. I'm your host, Jeremiah Fox, and today we are back at the beautiful Gregory Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Brooklyn Bridge Park. Reopened in July 5th in spectacular fashion. I did a show here with Gregor, and today we're speaking with his business partner, Rodrigo Crespo. We were just going over Rodrigo's meandering journey in the fashion and how'd you put it? Fashion and luxury brand. I always forget that. I love that concept, like the luxury brand version.
Yeah, because it's like just like jewelry, shoes, bags.
Yeah,
like it's just this type of like or beauty brands like.
Right. Well, there's
then there's a title that they put themselves in like luxury beside like apparel. And just
I like it because it's like when you get into things, you're like, all right, I'm going to create a product. There's like so many products, and you really have to like pick an identity. Are you going to be like the cheap one, and we're just mass producing, and we're going to make like 10 million units and just try to sell them all, or are you going to develop like an aura about you? And I think from an advertising standpoint,
it's true.
It's a lot more fun, right? You get to really dig in as opposed to like buy 10 of these for $9.99, and it's like
it is.
You definitely get to be more artistic. So you said you were brought on kind of like as an art director for an agency.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Did you have a background in art? Did you go to like study art or?
Like I did like I studied design in university. I started doing journalism, and then I said, it's not for me. I don't know what I'm doing here. Then I changed to design. And I was there like for 4 years studying, and at this point I was already working in an advertising agency. So I didn't finish my last semester. I just quit and said, you know what, already in,
got a job,
brother, it's okay. And I was there like doing like this, working in this advertising agency, which was like more like advertising. Like they had all types of clients, like beer, phone, like whatever, like everything. And but then when I was invited for this friend of mine, which is an actress, to work in her office, like a talent management, they hired just these celebrities for like big jobs and big names. So I was, okay, this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like you need to be more fancy with this, like everything like
Right.
needs to be like flowers, candy, whatever, like a driver, like some security guys, DJ on set. So I said, okay, this is different.
Perrier in the corner.
By the end of the shoot,
Yep.
when they wrap, usually in production, people wrap, they're already in the door, like trying to leave. With this type of people, no. They have like champagne bottles, let's celebrate.
I like that too. Yeah, I like that. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a different
It was
feel.
different for me.
Yeah.
But at one point, I think everybody likes this
Yeah,
type of,
a little
job.
bit.
Like I don't want to just finish it like a 12-hour shoot and then say bye, guys. So
Go get
it's
Dunkin'
better to have
Donuts
some
and
exactly.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So that's my path.
So you were talking in the last set about building this company and then being pulled in other directions, and you wanted to pursue that, and putting in place the right people to where you still have your company. And you were just mentioning on the break, like it was hard at first, right? You're like,
It is hard.
It's hard to trust people, and it's like you built this thing.
Like, bro, can you imagine like you build a company by yourself, 100% your risk. So you build your connections, all the clients call to your phone number. Like I didn't have like a phone number in my office, it was like my cell phone. And then
Ringing all the time too, right?
One day you give it to another person and say, listen, like represent me, and that's it. You need to trust.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that I had like bad experience in life with like people that I really trust, and then I said, oh, I'm frustrated. This guy was not the perfect person. But my business partner in Brazil, I would say, brother, I'm so lucky. I trust her, and I don't even know how much money we make when we send an estimate. Like I say, well, how was good? We had some profit. Okay, so I trust in you. I prefer act like this than be a crazy guy, stressed like in numbers, or if someone like is doing something wrong. As soon as like the first year was great, and I asked for feedback, of course, like my clients, how was, do you like her? Like, did she treat you well? Everybody, like from my photo assistant, the driver to my client. And she's great. So when I decide to have a second business, which for me today is my first job here, and the production is my side business now. I don't mind like to say no for clients that I really don't want to work with.
Right.
If there's some guy that I worked with before, and I see, oh, this guy is hard to deal with, I say no immediately. Like, oh no, and
that feels good, right?
And I feel so much.
Such a great feeling. Yeah.
So now Jiu-Jitsu and this academy specifically, it's my number one business. So my side business, she's taking care about it. So if I need to do that, be focused here, I need to help the instructor here. Like we have like different levels. Sometimes can like a white belt who never trained, don't know even how to tie his belt.
Right.
I cannot put him in the same class with like different levels. So it's me, myself, that do the intro class. So I show them the way we teach, the way we teach, how the academy works. So then the phone rings, then someone want to buy a t-shirt, then whatever, like so many things to do.
Yeah.
I cannot be.
And we'll get to that. I want to talk about running an academy.
I cannot be like sending like 200 estimates a day, or so you need to trust.
Yeah.
If someday something happens and I don't like it, man, it's fine. Like it's life. But if you have more than one business, you need to deliver and you need to trust.
And I think you really nailed it when you said like you found the right person. Like you have to have the right people. There's these two basic. It gets a little bit more involved as you go, but like there's the idea of the lowest common denominator employee, where you buy into a franchise, and nobody needs any kind of education or skill set. And then you got the other one, and I think when you're dealing with like luxury brands or things that are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Like it really comes down to the people, which is great because you can get a lot done with fewer people.
Yeah.
But you have to have the right people.
I do have, and it was funny because my partner nowadays, actually, she was the one who hired me for one shoot. I know her; she's from Rio as well, so I knew her. We used to say like just hi to each one, like, but she hired my company to do a production like for a brand that she used to work with, and it was huge, like one of the biggest fashion brands in Brazil. So we're 3 day shoot in Rio, and then they shut down this company. They closed it, like the agents
The
who
agency,
represent.
yeah.
And she called me, oh, so I want to work with you. I love it. Like the day we worked together, and I was right in the timing to come here, in 2013.
Nice.
And I said, you know what? Let's do some jobs together. We see if you like it because I'm different, like as a producer than when I deal with my clients. So I'm push you hard.
You want to see his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you need to. And we did a couple jobs together, and we're like working on my visa to come here. Like, and I told her, listen, my visa was approved. Instead, like hire you as my employee. Why don't you become my partner and I give you some percentage of the company? And nowadays she has like 50% of my company because exactly like this. I want to trust you and I don't want to be 100% involved anymore. So it's your business. So I'm just your employee now. So you tell me what I need to do.
So it was a pretty quick courtship where you guys knew each other, but not super well. You'd done some jobs, but it didn't turn.
I can say maybe like 6 months.
Wow. I mean, that's risky.
It really. Yeah, no, but I knew her before.
Right.
Way before.
But like, still, like.
It's still like to be a partner was a
risk.
But I have a feeling about people, brother. Like, I don't know how to explain. There are some people you know them for 10 years and you don't trust in them. Like maybe you say hi, you go for even like a drink.
Right.
But you still like, okay, brother, like I go with you like until this point.
Always that personal space, yeah.
But with her, I trust, like, I don't know, I can't explain. I just trust, and it was my feeling, and thanks God, everything is doing good.
And I think that's an important part of being a business owner, and especially like you seem like a person like myself. I'm interested in a lot of things, and I want to be involved in a number of them. And you have to take risks, but you also have to follow your gut. You really have to follow your intuition. I think it's one of the things, especially these days, they keep pushing intuition down on people. They're like, no, they want to level the playing field for everything. No. We survived as humans because of our intuition. You know, we get these feelings and it's like, man, I'm not going to walk through that door. I'm not going to go that way. Like, I'm not going into those dark woods. I don't think so, you know?
100% agreed.
And I think you really, for anybody listening that's like thinking about, I want to embark on this journey. Like those are, I think, two real takeaways, like two key points. You have to find people you can trust, and you have to know when to follow your gut. Like it's not always right, but it's rarely wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you
someday or sometimes you can be wrong and you'll be frustrated because I trust in this person. My intuition was like, go with him, and then man, it was not the perfect fit. Okay, brother, like.
But it's like jiu-jitsu. Like as long as you
tap, reset,
or go to sleep,
Yes,
little inside joke. I took a nap. We did the class at a little earlier today, and I just took a little rest, a little self-inflicted rest. But like you said, you get to step back, you get to reset, as long as you still have your business, you still have your clients, you're not out of the game. We all make these little mistakes here and there along the way, but as long as they're not fatal, you can continue on.
And I was in one point that I don't know, maybe it's just myself, but I get tired to do the same thing for like many years. And I was okay, like I'm not like 100% happy anymore. Like I don't want to like wake up like 5 a.m. to do something like every single day if I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Like, and there are some clients, some jobs that I was excited to do it, but most of them I was, oh brother, I have to deal with this person. He's so like difficult to deal with. Oh, this one requests so many things. Like, so I was like thinking too much before accepting one job. And maybe it was my fault. Maybe I wasn't happy at all. And I was thinking it's time to focus on something else, but I'm not gonna just quit.
Right.
So let me try something different. And I suggest you, brother, I'm 42 years old. I suggest to everybody that I meet that if you're not 100% happy, try to understand why, and don't wait too long to change and change your life. Life is short, and brother, I'm a completely different person here in the academy.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
And so nice.
Yeah.
Like, so nice to meet like different types of people, train with them, a lot of mutual respect, and kids is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like parents are there like watching the kids training, and they talk to you like professor, like they hug you. So it's so nice. Completely different environment, I would say. So I was thinking maybe it's the right time to
make a move.
Make a move. So
well, that's also, I think, just the innate like hustler and like entrepreneur. Like for me, I'm the same. I like to build things.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, everything's going good. And it's like, I love the chaos when it's a mess.
Yeah.
And you work so hard. And then once it's all orderly and you just have to do the day-to-day stuff, I'm like, it's time for me to go. Like I gotta go find some other mess to fix up.
It is.
And I think that's natural, and just self-awareness helps a lot when you're like, oh, it took me a while to figure that out too. I was probably about 40 years old when I realized that. And I was like, oh, this is why like I get fed up in places, and it becomes toxic, right? You're like, you're not your best.
Yeah.
You just need to switch gears. And you didn't completely like shut the company down. You're just like, okay, let's pass this on. Now I'm doing something else. And in 10 years, it might be something else where you're like, you know what? I need to shift again. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's like you said, it's a great feeling. You feel like a different person.
It is.
As long as you're aware of that and you make those transitions smooth, life is good, right?
Exactly. Like there are people that are good with this. Like my sister, my brother, they're lawyers. They do this since, I don't know, 18 years old.
Yeah.
They're 43. Okay. So
good for you.
You like to wake up, be in the office 9 to 6 every day. 2 weeks vacation a year, fine. I want to do different. So, exactly. There's no right or wrong. It's just my lifestyle is different. Yep. And as you said, as soon as you set up everything, the mess ends. Maybe it's time to move.
Find some mess.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna take another break. Everybody, hang tight. We'll be back in just a few. Okay, everybody. Again, we're here at Gregory Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in the Brooklyn Bridge Park section of Brooklyn, right across from Lower Manhattan. I'd love to show you the view, but you'll have to check out the last show I did with Gregor. It's gorgeous. Actually, this is like, what is this, bearskin, lion skin? It's like crazy lounge. We're like sitting, I've never seen a jiu-jitsu academy like this beautiful. It's an amazing place to be. So now we're going to kind of transition the conversation to here and, talking to Rodrigo about building a company and all these emotions you go through, passing it off, like he's like the epitome of the entrepreneur, where he built it, wanted to go do something else, still has the company, brought in partners. He's still an owner in it and still reaps the benefits of that, but he gets to go and do some of the other things in life that he enjoys. And I really think like that's when you've accomplished something as an entrepreneur. It's one thing to open one business and just be like, they're not the same, right? Yeah. Not all business owners are entrepreneurs. They're like you were just pointing out, like you have family members who, they've done the same thing their whole life and just that one thing. Some guys just open one shop and they're like, that's it. Wouldn't necessarily say that you're an entrepreneur just because of that. I think it's really about you creating this thing and being able to step away from it and let it continue, and then something else, and maybe something else, and maybe something else, and it's all still going. Yeah, like a real builder, you know, in the Renaissance term, you know, Renaissance idea of the term. You explained in the you know first portion kind of how this happened, where you were here doing you know working your agency. The pandemic happened, everything kind of shut down. You went back to Brazil for a while. And then Gregor was like, "Hey, I want to reopen. We're gonna move. We're gonna expand. I want you to be a part of it." And you came back, like really curious to hear, because you know when I interviewed Gregor, I was like, "So you know most people closed and either shut down altogether or barely hung on." You guys expanded in magnificent fashion during a pandemic, and with like one of the hardest things, like jiu-jitsu is the opposite of social distancing. We want to get close. We want to get so close and breathe right on you, or stop your breathing. So yeah, it's like a tough thing to do. What was it like for you, like coming back in the middle of all this and then like building this new business?
So basically, when Gregor invited me to open the academy together, like I had no idea. One thing is train jiu-jitsu like we do. Like I train, as I said, like for 30 years training jiu-jitsu. Another thing is running a business. So I told him, brother, like one thing is training, another thing is running a jiu-jitsu academy. So I need to understand a little bit more. Give me like a couple months just for me to understand. And I came to a deep research, which was easy to do because I was asking like my friends, like.
Well, you were in Brazil at the time, right?
Yeah, but I was asking friends, like I told, like I'm not gonna ask only for the jiu-jitsu fighters because they'll say, brother, come, it's gonna be the best thing in your life, which I agree with them now.
Yeah.
But before, like, it's too risky. So I called different types of friends who are involved in the jiu-jitsu community. Like Gregor, he sent me all the numbers. Like, oh, I used to have like 180, almost 200 students in a tiny, small studio over here, like right next door. Then a friend of mine in Chicago, his name is Rodrigo Crespo. He's famous, like a 2 or 4 times world champion. He came from Brazil, opened his academy in Chicago. He said the same thing, brother, go. Another friend from Helium Gracie in Doral, Francis and Marcelo Hertz, they told me the same thing. They came from like different like business like myself, and they were doing so well. Then I started to do a business plan, and I said, Gregory, yeah, let's do it. First, we decided to open this big academy just because, specifically Brooklyn Heights, when we are, there's so many families, kids, and like, again, like we used to be like 1,200 square feet over there, and they had like 200 students. I said, brother, this is just a bad moment. Like, it's not gonna take forever. So why are we gonna open like a tiny space? And in 1 year, we're gonna be back it again and trying to find like a bigger space to get bigger. So let's try to make a good deal. And then came the business part of myself, which we take advantage about the pandemic. We had a good deal. We made a good contract. And during the pandemic, we had time to build, do with patience. And I was back in New York in January. So we just opened in July. We had enough time to...
And that's when we met.
Yeah. To do a research. We were looking for so many different places, locations. And then the landlord from the other academy showed us this space, which is right next door again. So I said, brother, like...
And this was like a kids gym before, right?
Yeah, it used to be a kids gym, like it was called Everyday Athlete, something like this. Like they used to have like many different, like a daycare, something like this. I don't know too much. But when they show us this area, I told Gregor, brother, this is the place. Like we can bring back our students because they used to live right here, like walking distance, and still we can bring more people. So I live in Manhattan, Tribeca. It takes like just like 2 stops to arrive here. Or if I take my bike,
Right over the bridge.
9 minutes.
Yeah.
I just picked like 2 musics and I'm here. So and it was a big step. I was like so, at one point I was like so anxious, like, oh my God, needs to work. Like I cannot like go wrong at all. And we are doing a great job, brother. I can tell, like, Gregor, like I had like training, I've been training in different academies because I grew up in Rio, then I moved to Sao Paulo, then I moved to New York. And I can tell that Gregor is, I think, the best instructor that I ever had, like 100%. He's amazing, like as a person. You need to have like a charisma and like.
Well, it's back to the people thing, right? Yeah. Like you have to trust them. You have to feel good around them.
Yeah, and it's not like there are some good fighters, good athletes, but they are not good instructors.
Right.
There are good instructors that they are not good athletes. Gregor is both.
It's both. I know.
So, and it's so hard to find this person.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yes.
You're like, wow, really? You got all the qualities. He's fucking handsome too. You're just like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, no, it's not fair.
It's not.
Yeah. So
hope he doesn't watch this.
It's like, come on, but and he trusts on me. So I told him, like, I would be fair, brother. Like, I'm not a fighter. I'm like a guy who trains jiu-jitsu in passion. I train every day. And he said, if I was looking for a fighter, brother, I would never pick up my phone and call you. I would call like maybe some world champion, like 20 years old. I'm calling you because I know I need someone that doesn't do exactly what I do. Otherwise, I just have 2 Gregory Gracies here and that's fine. So I need someone like you. Like, you know how to do something that I has no clue. That's why I'm doing like the social media. I did like, I had like a big help because Gregor has good taste. And also have like an interior designer here, but we were the ones who were like doing researches about like industrial furnitures. I don't know, like we did a deep research in the way we really want the academy and like about branding basically. Like, everything like black and white, all the t-shirts, like all the instructors needs to be like with the Gregory Gracie uniform. But same thing, like I don't want like people looking like a clown, like nowadays with that army geese, like camouflage geese.
Shout out to Peter Pavone.
Quit, take out your camouflage geese, my brother. So it's a brand, brother. So you need to build a brand. So that's why you only accept here, brother, whatever IBJJF accept, which is black, blue, and white geese. Nothing different than this. All instructors with uniform, they need to be here 30 minutes before the class starts to meet and greet the parents, to meet and greet the students. The academy is clean like hell. We clean the academy like 4 or 5 times a day. Yeah. And as you mentioned before, like I never saw an academy like this. Yeah. It's not so hard to build something like this. But it's hard to keep it like this.
Yeah, maintenance is everything.
Yeah, so I'm here every day, and Gregor's like are here like maybe 4 or 5 times a week. So, and we're doing our best to maintain the academy like this. Like, we have only like such a nice students here. And there's a word in Brazil, I don't know, maybe if I would translate it in a good way, but when you have like a orange in a basket, like one that is not good, it's spread to all the other ones. Yeah. So if I have like someone that I really think it's not part of the same vibe, same like community, I prefer this person and go find a different academy.
There's a bunch of them around. Yeah. Here they say, don't let one bad apple spoil the whole damn bunch. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So same idea. And I don't know if you are lucky or not, but we are already having in 1 month only, like almost 150 students, and 100% are super nice people. Yeah. Like 100%.
I think down the road, there might be one where you're just like, but good people around here. You pick.
Yeah, but it's martial arts, brother. It's not like Equinox that people, if you have like a not a nice person doing like
You can
lifting
still
weights,
stay, yeah.
and still
Yeah.
I'm gonna be by the side.
Yeah.
So people will train together, they will train hard, they hurt themselves. So
And you know, I think the other thing that you've carried over from your previous experience is like the luxury aspect. I mean, you're in a luxurious neighborhood, like some of the most expensive real estate on the planet, overlooking Lower Manhattan, and you guys really like rose to that. And I think that's going to attract the right kind of people. Where if it was just like, you roll up a garage door and there's like heavy metal playing and like not knocking that, because I've trained in places like that and it can be fun too, but like, you know,
it's just different.
It's different. And you know, I don't mind getting smacked around a little bit, but not everybody, you know, you can put me to sleep. So, it's okay.
Like again, there are like some academies, they have like a fake jiu-jitsu. They teach something that I don't trust. It's different because here I have the Gregory Gracie from Gregory Gracie lineage.
I know.
Lineage, like
it's really crazy.
And he's still training and teaching at Hansel. I'm still training at Hansel. So it's you'll be here training and learning jiu-jitsu. But doesn't mean that you need to be like, bro, I don't know, if you're using the same gi for the whole week, dirty, and then bro, it makes no sense anymore. Like if you're in this like expensive neighborhood, you are expecting people who can afford, and they're looking for something clean. They're looking for like an instructor who knows how to talk to them, like not like a stupid guy. Like, come on, kill themselves, kill each other. Like, it's not this place. Like you're gonna be here, you're gonna learn, you're gonna train hard, but you learn.
You're gonna know some jiu-jitsu by the end.
But you don't need to be like in a dirty place or in a garage to learn jiu-jitsu. So Kira Gracie, she has like one beautiful studio now. She just opened a huge academy in Rio. Same moves, exactly the same thing. And then I was talking to her and she said, you know what bring me a lot of students was not my last name, Gracie. Of course helps. Kira, she's 8 times world champion, but also the facilities. How can someone can come here, pay like their monthly rate or annual membership, and then 7 a.m. they finish the train 8, they need to rush to like go back to work, and there's no shower here, like a nice and clean bathroom. Brother, like doesn't exist. It's not unacceptable for me. And it was funny because Gregor said he just came here twice, 2 times during the construction. And I was, oh my God, like Gregor's not coming. What's happening? And he said, no, brother, I trust on you. I know that you're gonna do the right thing. So whatever. So he came. It's great. And he said, it's great. Exactly what I expect from you. So,
it is. It's amazing. Should all come and visit. All right, we're gonna take one last break. We'll be back in just a minute, everybody. Hang tight. All right, everybody, welcome back again. You're joining us here at the Gregory Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Brooklyn, New York, in Brooklyn Heights, right over the water, hanging out today with Gregor's business partner, Rodrigo Crespo. Talked about a lot of things through the course of the show, but in terms of entrepreneurship, I think the 2 main takeaways that we really highlighted was, you know, you've got to be around the right people, find people that you can really trust. And that feeds into your ability to letting go and letting things kind of take their own course. We were talking about, you know, the kind of beautiful aesthetic this place has here. And on the break, you know, and even before the break, Rodrigo was saying like Gregor didn't really come through much during the construction because he trusted him. And he was like, man, I know it's going to be great. This is your background. This is what you do. Self-awareness, knowing like what your strengths are and what your weaknesses aren't. There's a guy I follow, business personality, and he always says that. He says, you know, if you're working this company, you can't do it all. First of all, it's impossible to do everything, really. So find what you like to do, because you're going to be passionate about that. You'll excel at it. You'll shine at it. And the things that you don't like to do, find somebody that you can work with that likes to do that stuff. And you know, don't let, we were saying on the break, like don't let ego get in the way, because that can really crush things. And I want to finish up by talking about, you know, how jiu-jitsu has helped you as a business person, because that's like one of the big lessons of jiu-jitsu is like, leave your ego at the door. You're about to get, You're about to get smashed by a blue
This
belt.
is
It doesn't
the
matter.
most-
Like,
this
you
is
know.
the most important thing in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
I tell you,
right.
You cannot have ego
Yeah.
as soon as you go inside the mat. And I think that's what like jiu-jitsu teach me a lot. First of all is jiu-jitsu teach you to have mutual respect. Then you put your credentials as soon as you go inside the mat, outside the mat. I don't mind if you are the CEO of like a big company. I don't know if you are a billionaire. I don't know if you live on the streets. I don't know. I don't care actually anything. So as soon as you are in the mat, we shake hands and we train, and that's it. So this is jiu-jitsu for me. Like if you are a nice person, where the place where I came from, Carson Gracie, used to be like this. Like in our training, we used to have like guys that used to live in the favelas. And beside that, there was a guy who were kidnapping in Brazil because he was millionaire and nobody knew. Because we don't ask, like, if you are nice, more than welcome. If you're not nice, brother, go home.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. In jiu-jitsu, you cannot have an ego. Like, Gregor beats me. Then, actually, Gregor beats everybody here. But then came
He's like,
Roger
Gregor
Gracie.
beats me.
Yeah. And then came Roger Gracie and beats Gregor. So then maybe someone came and beats Roger. We never know. So, brother, if you have ego, forget about it in this industry. And I think this helped me a lot in my business, like to learn how to like have respect. Like you go to the mat, but you have to first, if you are late, ask your instructor if you are allowed to go inside. Then you need to respect your partners and your training partners. So everything in jiu-jitsu helps me in my business.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like responsibility, like in respect. Like it doesn't mean like I'm gonna punch you or I'm gonna do something wrong, but if you need to act, treat people with respect. It doesn't matter how big they are.
Right.
Like, so I used to do this in my business. Like I come with my, like whatever, like the manicurist, the photo assistant, and the production assistant. I treat them exactly the same way as I treat my client. So if you are right, you are right. If you are wrong, I would say, like, this is not right. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. So take a seat, have a deep breath, and respect everyone. Yeah. So be on time. If you are late, I hate when people are late. And if like you cannot show up here like 30 minutes
and
jump on the mat. So no, brother, you need to respect because you have like 35 more students that they came here, they did hard time to came here and arrive like on time. Same thing in my business.
Yeah.
If you arrive late, I'll pay overtime to everyone just because of you. So think about it.
Right.
So, brother, if you think you'll be late, arrive 1 hour earlier. I'm always 30 minutes earlier than someone. If you invite me to a lunch, I'll be there 30 minutes before and I'm gonna wait outside, whatever, but I hate to be late.
Yeah.
So I think it's many things that jiu-jitsu teach you in life. That's why jiu-jitsu becomes so popular here in the United States. Like they have like 1,400 students at Hanzo. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
From like important, like famous people.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
Like people who are working in construction.
Yep,
so whatever.
And I think it also, like I've noticed, I found so many people, especially through social networks like LinkedIn. It's crazy the amount of people that train jiu-jitsu there that are like, business owners.
Self-confidence.
Yeah. It's
so many things.
Big game changer. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. It's been really awesome talking to you and training and
so much.
Taking a nap on the floor too. Thank you all. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. All right. Peace out.